Have you ever tried to help someone by giving them feedback? But instead of listening, they became defensive, upset, or even angry. Why does that happen? The truth is, most people don't hate feedback. They hate the way it's delivered. And here's something surprising. Many people think the best way to give feedback is something called the compliment sandwich. You say something nice, then the criticism, then another compliment. For example, "You're doing a great job, but your reports are always late, but I know you're talented." Sounds good, right? Not really. Most people recognize this pattern immediately. They start waiting for the "but," and eventually they stop trusting the compliments because they know criticism is coming. So what's the better way? By the end of this video, you'll know a simple method that makes people much more likely to listen, and maybe even thank you for your feedback. Let's get into it. First, let's understand why people become defensive. The biggest mistake is that we make feedback about the person instead of their actions. Think about these two sentences. "You are lazy." Or, "This report was submitted after the deadline." Can you feel the difference? The first sentence attacks someone's identity. It sounds like you're saying, "This is who you are." The second sentence simply talks about one specific action. Actions can change. Identity feels personal. When people feel attacked, their brain immediately switches into defense mode. Instead of thinking about improving, they're thinking about protecting themselves. That's why arguments start. So, if you want someone to improve, focus on what happened, not who they are. Now here's the biggest secret to giving great feedback. Stop thinking like a judge. Start thinking like a mentor. A judge looks at the past. What did you do wrong? A mentor looks at the future. How can I help you do better next time? That small mindset shift changes everything. Imagine you're coaching a football player. If they miss a goal, you don't yell, "You're terrible." You explain what happened and help them score the next one. Great feedback works exactly the same way. Your goal isn't to prove you're right. Your goal is to help someone grow. So how do you actually do it? Here's a simple 4-step framework. Step 1. Choose the right time and place. Don't embarrass someone in front of other people. If possible, talk privately. And don't wait for weeks. Give feedback while the situation is still fresh, but after emotions have settled down. Step 2. Use facts instead of feelings. Instead of saying, "I feel like you don't care," say, "I noticed the report was submitted 2 days late." Facts are harder to argue with. They keep the conversation calm and focused. Step 3. Explain the impact. People are more willing to change when they understand why something matters. For example, when the report is late, the rest of the team has less time to finish their work. Now they understand the bigger picture. It's not just about a deadline. It's about everyone who depends on them. Step 4. End with a question. This is where most people make a mistake. They give feedback and walk away. Instead, invite the other person into the solution. Ask something like, "What can we do to make this easier next time?" Or, "Is there anything you need from me to help you meet the deadline?" Now it becomes a conversation instead of a lecture. People are much more likely to follow through when they help create the solution themselves. Let's see the difference. Here's the bad version. You're always careless. You never pay attention. You need to do better. How do you think that person feels? Probably embarrassed. Maybe even angry. Now here's the better version. I noticed there were a few mistakes in today's report. Because of that, we had to spend extra time fixing them before sending it to the client. How can we prevent this next time? Is there anything that would help? Notice the difference? No personal attacks. Just facts, the impact, and a plan for the future. That's feedback people can actually use. So here's the biggest lesson from today's video. Good feedback isn't about pointing out mistakes. It's about helping someone improve without making them feel attacked. Remember these 4 steps. Choose the right time. Use facts. Explain the impact. And finish by finding a solution together. Try using this method at work, at home, or even with your friends this week. You might be surprised by how differently people respond. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.